Hey there, my friend Perry Tinsley here. Let's talk about something we've all felt before, I'm sure. It's where we allow those whispers in our head that allow us to dream big. But we also counter them with doubts and nags, and especially when we think about really big dreams, those type of dreams where you get that deer in headlight look, right? And sometimes, and this was me a while back. Sometimes it's just about taking back control of our health, or maybe it could be starting a new project, or maybe it's something new, maybe it's a new career, or whatever. Maybe it's starting your own business. But here's the thing, and I was on a mastermind the other day, and the phrase permission to how did it go? I've got to look over there. Permission to play big. I had to look on my notebook. I thought that was brilliant because a lot of times we just feel like we need to get permission to do it. But the only person that needs permission, and a lot of times we look outside of ourselves for that validation, for that permission. But the only one that really needs to give permission to you is you. You knew I was going to say that, right? So we're going to dig into this stuff. But before we do, I do want to say welcome to another Power Blast podcast where we provide nourishment for the soul, allowing you to transform from the inside out. Yeah, you got to start on the inside, providing rapid results in mindset and fitness so that you can recharge your mental and physical battery and reclaim your power. And before we get into all these details, well, not even details, just the stories and the lesson of the day, this podcast, make sure you head over to my calendar, talktoperry.com. I leave that wide open for podcast listeners because it's all about keeping your energy high. I feel that many of us, we find ourselves so busy, we let our energy levels go, and then the dreams, the things we're wanting to go after, the aspirations of getting healthy and fit, all that stuff seems so far out there because we're busy, our energy is drained, and I want to help you reclaim that power of yours. So that is my calendar's over at talktoperry.com. You can get there. So just for a moment, imagine that you've got a friend who's always hesitant, and they would like to come with you on their whatever journey you have, or you've got a great brainstorm for them. But this friend of yours, they're always second guessing themselves. And over time, I mean, you're like, come on, just go for it. You've got this. And so step back for a second. What if that hesitant friend is you? A lot of times it's asking for a friend, but you're really asking for yourself. How many times do we do that? We want to find out from people whether we should do something or not do something, or we're often hesitant and worry, is it going to work or whatever. But so often we can be our own best cheerleader. And so I'm reflecting back when I was in my little start-stop cycle. Again, I was getting started and ready to commit this time to my health and fitness. That false promise I've told myself so many times before, but I'm going to do it this time. And I just remember that it was just one of these things where it's like, I don't know, I don't want to work so hard and then not have any results. I don't want to put in the time, I don't want to put in the energy. I don't want to have to try and work so hard to psych myself up to exercise only to find out that 30, 60, 90 days down the road I really didn't stick with it and I didn't get any results. So why even bother to put in that time and energy? It would just be easier to not do it. And I don't know if that's ever been part of your journey, but it seemed to me like all the time, every time I was getting in there, I had to psych myself up to get started. And then I had to have it all figured out how I was gonna, how I was gonna do, what the weights I was gonna use, where was I gonna work out, all this stuff. I had to figure it out. And in the meantime, while I'm trying to figure it out, I'm also figuring out ways to get out of it. Okay, when's my rest day? When's the when can I do this? When are the really short workouts? And I was just trying to get myself off the hook over and over and over again. And that's when it dawned on me that's the habit I created for myself, that I was like, I got really good at doing those. What if you got good at something different? What if I gave myself permission to play big? Now, deer in headlights moment, because I didn't know what playing big was. I didn't know what it would accomplish. And sometimes just playing big, sometimes you can think of it as a game. And so that's kind of way I did it. I didn't look at it as an enjoyable game because I was exercising, I was out of shape, I was overweight, I was overwhelmed. And so I really wanted it to just be over. But I was tired of being in the condition I was in. I was tired of the comfort zone that I created. And I said, you know what? What if I just show up and just do today? Not worry about I'm putting in all this time and energy and all this stuff. And I had my moments along the way. There was always a story that I could glue on to of why this isn't working or how to talk myself out of it. But I started with that little mindset shift. I'm like, well, what if I just do today? My goal today is just to put an X on the calendar that I showed up. One slash was for exercise. The other one was for eating fairly healthy. I wasn't dialed into nutrition at the time, but I stopped eating the garbage, and that made a big difference. It made a big difference in energy and stuff like that. Um, but it was basically, when people are in running for, like, they're running a marathon or they're going on some sort of race, there's people on the sidelines holding up signs, right? What if those signs, if you were the one running, what if the signs were like, oh, wait your turn, not yet, you can't do this? That's what I was doing to myself. I was literally wanting to get on the journey and seeing all of the unmotivation posters trying to take me out of it. And so the truth is, I wanted to put up different signs, not the one stopping me, but the one empowering me. And so I started dispelling and questioning little stories like, I'm too old, because I was about to turn 40 at the time when I was starting. Wasn't 40 was like a year or so off, but I was getting close. I was already in that 40 mindset. It's too old to exercise. Nope. What if that's not true? Um, I don't have what it takes. I'm too out of shape. I'm too overwhelmed. Well, what if that's not true? Just show up and do today. You might be a little out of shape today, but I'm betting that in 30, 60, 90 days, you won't be as out of shape. You might not see it on the scale. You might not see it in the mirror, but you won't be as out of shape today. You will be stronger. And what if you kept going for 6 months? What if you kept going for a year? And that became too abstract for me. I was like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Just do today. Because I got into that mindset of, oh my gosh, it's all year out. I can't imagine doing all this stuff for a year. I said, I want to be different in a year. And so each day I just said, how am I going to play this game? And so I picked a time that I committed to every single day. And while my nutrition and my fitness weren't super stellar, some days exercising, I was just going through the motions, but I showed up and I was empowering myself. And each day, things got a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but they improved. I was sore. I was still beating myself up for letting myself go for so long. But I'm like, if you don't do anything, you're going to continue to drift. Stop the drifting. And so maybe the what ifs and the maybes come up, and it's just like, hey, edit undo. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying into that story anymore. I'm going to stop waiting for the perfect moment to show up. There's a lot of listeners. This might be you, always waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect time, that perfect plan. I'm in conversations right now where people are like, I just need to be told what to do and what day to do it. I give them the plan. Here's what to do, and here's what day to do it. And they're still procrastinating. You know why? Because I can relate, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to figure out the how, and they really haven't made a decision. They're trying to find cracks and flaws in the plan. They are not wanting to give themselves permission to play big. They're coming up with excuses. So it's really interesting when you get what you want and then you don't take action on it. Well, the universe will conspire and say, well, yeah, you're right. Let's not do anything. And then you drift further off course. The perfect moment is right now when you've made that decision, giving yourself permission to dream big, permission to chase the dreams, permission to believe in yourself and align that belief with your actions. Align the belief with your behavior. And I believe in you. I've been there. I believe in you. That's why I want to help you brainstorm. Jump on my calendar. TalkToPerry.com. I want to hear your goals, things that you're working through, things that have become a struggle or an energy drain for you. And within 15 minutes, I will tell you which direction to take, where you're going to get the biggest results from, so that you can recharge that mental and physical battery of yours, reclaim your power, and really take advantage of playing big. And worst case scenario, you'll walk away with 3 strategies so you can boost your energy, reclaim your time, and make you the priority. How about that? So how would your life look different if your mental and physical battery was running at 100% every single day? You'd be unstoppable, right? TalkToPerry.com is where we'll have that conversation. So if you've ever asked yourself, or even if you've ever allowed yourself to play big, you've got to give yourself that yes. I'm stepping up. I'm taking a deep breath. I'm focused on my goals. I'm being who I need to be at that goal, at that ideal health of mine. I mean, this is a game of life, and we don't want to put things on pause. We want to make the most of it. No regrets, no holding back. Choose to play big. Just go for it. I've actually got a group out there, a virtual group. We call it Go For It. So you can choose to use your power and take control. You can choose to let the excuses, the procrastination, the overthinking, the non-playing big, or what do we call it? Play small, I guess. Comparison, all that stuff control you and drain your power. It really boils down to committing, deciding and committing. That's what I mean. Deciding and committing to yourself, to your goals, and then be open, be wide awake, be aware. Choose to figure out new ways, look at possibilities, learn, grow, keep moving forward. You've got this, my friend. I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today. Drop those down in the comments. I promise I will reply. I try to get in there most days, but I'll reply to those. And just want to let you know, you absolutely rock. I believe in you. And also, remember, here's the story switch. Remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to TalkToPerry.com. That's TalkToPerry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to UpsideDownFit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find this show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.